Hello, beautiful, gorgeous woman. How are you? How's everything going? Hello, hello. Awesome. I think we are alive. We are here. Hello, everyone. If you are here, then please send me hello. Please introduce yourself. And if you are watching a replay, then please hashtag replay. So I know that you have laid your beautiful eyes and given attention to this beautiful, beautiful transmission. So if you're here, please say hello. If you have any questions as we go, please let me know. I'm here to answer, and the more questions you want to ask, the better it is, so I can really, help you gain much more clarity around manifesting, but more than manifesting, how to manifest juicy relationships, your wealth, career, but without sacrificing your well-being. So a lot of times what I find is the women I work with, it's not that they are not, successful, that they don't have family or relationship, but it's more around, hello Nilafar, it's more around that they're not feeling fulfilled, right? So the life they are living is not deeply fulfilling. And when the life you're living is not deeply fulfilling, on the paper it could look amazing, but that there is that lack of conviction and lack of purpose and lack of really feeling peaceful and content in your body and in your psyche, right? And from that place of being grounded in the reality, grounded in your body, grounded in your nervous system, you can manifest juicy things, amazing things. And when a woman really ignites her passion and she really steps into the world from the place of power, then she doesn't really go through burnout, because we have a lot of beautiful energy which is stagnant within us, which you can call kundalini, you can call it shakti. And when you understand your body, understand your mind, and really lead in life from that place of knowing, deep knowing of your vision, then you really manifest everything you want, anything you want, without sacrificing. Okay, without sacrificing your well-being to start with, and things you deeply value. So before we go deeper into the three core pillars around manifesting and what manifestation really looks like and how does it look like while you can still be integrated in your wellness and in your sense of being, where you are not manifesting just wanting or chasing things just because someone told you so, when it's coming from your heart, we are going to go into a beautiful meditation. It's actually from Vedas and it is really powerful. And I'm going to take you, usually with my clients, I take them through pretty long meditations and subconscious rewiring. So I definitely cannot do that here on a live in just 40 minutes. So I'm going to take you through 5 minutes, and I really want you to relax into it and allow yourself to experience and to be guided. Okay, so if you want to just close your eyes and get really comfortable, become really comfortable wherever you are. If you want, you can also lean and have some support. Otherwise, it's also good to have your spine nice and erect. So I don't know if you guys know about Shiva and Parvati. So in Hinduism, Shiva is the creator. If you know about spirituality, you would have seen the idols of Shiva, the name of Shiva. So one day Shiva and his wife Parvati, they were sitting on Mount Kailash, which is where they used to reside. And Parvati asks Shiva that, how do you just be? Right? We are always doing, we are always in this space of doing something. What does the being really feels like? And Shiva takes her through this little exercise to help her get in touch with the beingness instead of constant doingness. And when it comes to manifestation and creation, the place it's coming from should always be that place of groundedness and being eased into your, feeling easeful in your body and in your mind. So Shiva says to Parvati, take a deep breath in. So all of you guys, take a deep breath in into your stomach and a deep breath out. Take another deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now, as you take a deep breath in, pause just for 1 second at the end. And a breath out. And pause for 1 second. Keep on breathing. Shiva says to Parvati that pause where the breath turns when you breathe in and you take a pause, and the breath turns from the inhale to the exhale, that's the point of pure beingness. When you're inhaling and exhaling, you're still doing something. But that point of pure stillness as you breathe in and the breath turns and you breathe out, that's pure being. So I want you all to really sit with that awareness, because if you give it attention, it's deeply powerful. Take a deep breath in, and as you pause, that's the space of pure stillness and nothingness. And from that space, you breathe out and exhale. Breath in, pause, and breath out, and pause. Keep on breathing. A lot of time my clients and people I work with, they ask me, what does that center, what does that stillness really feels like? And this is your little taste into it. We have this beautiful Sanskrit shloka called Om Purnamadam Purnamada, and that means, the part of whole is whole. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you can learn to find stillness through this beautiful tool we have called breath, you learn how to penetrate this stillness into literally every single thing in your life. So a breath in, pause, and a breath out. Beautiful, my loves. Now from this centered and grounded place, I would love you to invite any parts of you which are still stuck in the past, maybe how the day went, or children, or work, or things you could have done better, should have done better. Bring all those parts of you and really ground them in the present. Invite them and ground them in the present. And bring any parts which are hopping into the future. What is she going to say next? I don't know if this is about me. Oh my God, I need to make dinner. If you're in Australia, all these things, these thoughts, just want you to really gather all these little parts of your mind which are scattered in future. Gather them and bring them to the present. And really allow yourself to be here. How does it feel to be right here, right now, in your body, in your breath, in your mind? Tune into that feeling. And another little thing I would love you to do before we go into the masterclass: relax your womb space. So just your lower abdomen below your navel, just relax that space, like really let it go. A lot of time women hold a lot of tension around this space, and that could be around conditioning, where we are trying to look thin, or trying to keep it all together, or it could be also subconscious. I just want you to really relax and let it go, and just breathe into it. Amazing. Now we will start, and I would love you to slowly open your eyes. Stretch any part of your body, could be your neck, your shoulders, hips, anything. If there's tension anywhere in the body, really just release. The exercise and the whole act of meditating and going through this process, it's very grounding, and it's very actually aligned to very light feminine quality, the art of really nurturing yourself and being in the stillness and really holding yourself, right, through whatever is going on, and grounding in your yoni, grounding yourself in your body, in your breath, is a beautiful thing. And now we are going to go into the active manifestation and understanding about the 3 core pillars around which you really need to understand if you want to create and manifest life of your dreams. So as I'm going again, if there are any questions, any queries, any comments, please pop them in the comment, and I will keep my eye on it. I will also keep my eye on my slides so I do not miss anything. The act of creation is not really rooted in light feminine. It's kind of rooted in dark femininity. And when I say darkness, don't think of it like just as a, as a negative thing. Like a seed needs dark soil. It needs the dark, greenhouse for it to really sprout into a plant. The same way your dreams, your visions, the things you truly deeply desire need to be grounded in the darkness, right? And that's where the act of creation comes. If you think of your womb, it's also dark, right? A child is in your womb for 9 months in that darkness. So why would your visions or dreams of things you're wanting to manifest would be any different? So from here, the energy I'm going to embody to take you on, to take you through this masterclass is going to be much more fierce and activating. And this is deeply my work is rooted in. My work is rooted in balancing the light and the dark aspect of femininity, because we don't live in society anymore where we can just sit at home and the man just takes care of us, and we just like quietly go through everything we do and cook food for our children and everything just goes well. That's not the case. We are going out, we are working, we are generating wealth, we are in the whole hierarchy. But while we are doing these beautiful things to, earn money and make a name and create businesses and be professionals and CEOs and things like that, we lose a very important part of us as women. And what we do is, because of our patriarchal society, we copy men when it comes to succeeding. And if you think about it, masculine energy works really differently. The hierarchy, the energetics, the body, the mind, the psyche, the nervous system, values, emotions are very different to feminine body. How energy works in our body is very different to how energy works in a man's body. So it makes complete sense that we reach a state of burnout or resentment, or we get, anxious, or we find it really hard to regulate our emotions when we are achieving success in life, right? Because we are constantly in this state of chase, in the state of one-upmanship, in the state of going through the whole triangle of hierarchy, getting on top. And that is exhausting. So we don't need that. I've worked with beautiful clients. One of my beautiful clients, Rebecca, she is a CEO. She's incredible speech pathologist, and at the same time an incredible mother, an incredible wife. And she, when we worked together, she was in the state of burnout, and we worked through creating the systems and structures and understanding around her body, around her mind, around her psyche, so she could wear all those hats but not lose touch with herself. And that empowered state of being, once you tap into that and you understand how you need to create reality around you to support, the feminine empowerment, it's a beautiful place to be. You understand how to be in your nurturing, beautiful, light feminine, but also not let people fucking, walk all over you. And this is the juggle which a lot of time women who are very successful, they go through. And then, having said that, there is a lot of element of where that work is really coming out from. So if a lot of time when women become really successful, a lot of time they are becoming successful or in that grind because they want to prove something to someone. I was having this beautiful chat with the client today, and she was telling me how she is fantastic at what she does, and she holds like a team of 10, 15 people in her work, but every single time she doesn't get an external feedback from her team, she goes into this state of self-sabotage. What's wrong with me? Did I do anything wrong? Oh my God, do I need to fix anything? And then she can't eat properly, and then she can't breathe properly, and she also pesters her husband the entire time because she just needs someone to, help her regulate. And it's freaking exhausting when that authority is given to someone outside of you. So when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to really creating life of your dreams, there are few things which you have to be really beautifully intimate with, and they're fundamentals, right? So don't please leave them because if you do, then you go into that masculine creation, which is kind of different to how feminine create. Also, there are a lot of beautiful new people here in the group, so I will introduce myself quickly. My name is Damini Gallagher. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I work predominantly in helping women really reignite their passion and the confidence and help them balance you know, the the whole thing around how to be fierce and powerful and confident when it comes to your work, but also learn how to be soft and feminine so you do not lose your beautiful desires to nurture and to be loved and to receive. And it is a juggle. Okay, so today I hope what I have to share is going to really help you. Also, a little bit about my lifestyle. I do have a beautiful 6-year-old son. I run a soul aligned business in which I get to serve a lot of women and help them step into empowerment. I'm an Indian classical dancer, so that's my creative side. And I absolutely say 100% yes to everything I do. And I truly believe every single woman on this planet, if she truly understands about her energetics and gets her boundaries really tight, understand her individuality, and goes for her vision, she can get to a place where, yes, you say 100% yes to everything you do, and there is not a single aspect of compromise or sacrifice. So that is my intention, and that's what I help women to do. And I've had a beautiful success rate with a lot of high achieving women to do that. And I want to share this medicine with more and more beautiful goddesses. So let's get into it. Okay, if you know anything about manifestation, okay, I want you to tell me. Tell me in the comments, what do you really know about manifestation? You know, when I say the word manifestation or creation, what does really come up for you? So if you're watching a replay, you can also message that or comment it. If now, you can also comment it. You can also think about it and comment it, and I will come back to it later. Okay, and I'm just gonna check. Beautiful, awesome. So the first key, okay, the first core pillar of manifestation is clarity. Okay, you need to put this in big letters and stick it somewhere on the wall. You need to be clear as fuck around what is it that you want. Okay, when I ask you this question, I want you to really tap into your body and tap into your mind and tap into your psyche and really tap into what is it that you want. Beautiful, Samya, turning your thoughts into reality. Yes, so turning whatever it is that you desire, that you're wanting, into reality, into this 3D living experience. And that could look like around wealth, that could look like around creating more relationships, that could look like having more beautiful intimate relationships, that could look like having children, or having a beautiful work-life balance, or having more time to spend, you know, doing things you deeply desire doing, or having more resources so that you feel more supported. It could be around having more time with yourself and being okay, you know, in your own company. So it really comes down to what is it that you're desiring, bringing it into an actual world, right? Not somewhere up here. That's called imagining or daydreaming. Manifesting is bringing your thoughts, your desires, your wants into your day-to-day reality. Yes, awesome. So you need to be clear, right? So if we are talking about desires wanting to be manifested, you have to be clear around what is it that you want, and you have to be precise, because here we are talking about manifesting with divine, manifesting with universe. And the reason my clients see, you know, quantum leaps in their businesses, in their work, in their relationships, in their lives in general, is because they are not creating just from this egotistical place of like, yes, I have it all. You know, no, that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about manifesting from sacred, integrated femininity, manifesting with nature, manifesting with universe. So for that, you have to be clear in your thoughts, clear with your desires, and put it down on a paper. Like, it should be down on a paper. What is it that you're wanting? Okay. then you can create it, manifest it, action starts. The alignment, yes, yes. So if you can imagine it, dream it, then you can create it and manifest it, yes. But there is a bridge between imagining and creating, and that bridge is becoming succinctly clear around what is it that you're desiring, right? Because if you are imagining what is it that you want, but you don't understand the mechanics of how that seed is going to actually lead to a plant and what's the process, then it's going to stay in this state of constant desiring or thinking. And I actually, a lot of time when women work with me, that's the space they are in, because if you are an aware being, which Amy, it sounds like you are, that you have the capacity to visualize what is it that you want. And if it's not translating into an experiential day-to-day, reality for you, then there's this dissonance which keeps on creating, where it's like, I know I want this, but I can't get it. Or I know I want to feel wealthy in terms of, let's say, finances or relationship or resources, or spirituality, or, having a beautiful work-life balance, whatever that looks like for you. And I would love you guys to write down in comments, what does that look like for you, right? Because that is the bridge. And if that bridge is missing, then you're going to want things, but they're not going to actually happen. And that creates this conflict where I know, I want, but it's not happening. And then that causes this inner anarchy, almost this resentment and self-doubt, because you're like, I know I want, but I can't create it, and then it's like, well, what's wrong with me? Why is it not happening for me? So that bridge, the bridge of clarity and the bridge of getting really real with what is it that you want? And second, why do you really want it? That's a big question. Whatever it is that you're wanting, is it coming from the place of truly wanting it from your heart? Or are you wanting a compromised version of it because you don't believe in yourself? Or it's coming from conditioning, that someone told you, if you get this, you're going to feel this. So gaining clarity around why do you really want something is really important, because until unless that's not clear, you're going to send mixed signals out to universe, which we will cover later on in the masterclass. So become really aware and ask yourself this question and be receptive to whatever comes up, okay? Be radically honest with yourself, which is one of the pillars as well. Around manifesting, you have to be very clear around whatever answers come up, because you know the answers. Okay? Third is who you need to become to receive it. Who do you need to become to receive it? And I give this example to so many of my clients. If I want to be, if my client is saying that, yep, I just want to have a business where I'm just making, a little bit of side income, but mainly it's my work, mainly it's my children, then awesome. You need to become a certain person who is just dedicating X amount of hours every single day, every single week to manifest that. But if you want to be a powerhouse of a woman, if you want to really take your career to the next level, at the same time you want to have strong boundaries with your children, with your family, and work-life balance, and also me time, then you need to become a different person to create that. So gaining clarity around who do you need to become, because the version who you are now might not be able to manifest that reality which you deeply want, right? But if you give yourself an upgrade, or if you understand, literally it's like processing, right? Like your MacBook, I have a MacBook and it has to go through this new processing to really handle the new information. So manifesting with universe and with divine requires you to understand what kind of processing system it really takes to create that reality. What values, what level of emotional regulation, what level of nervous system regulation, what kind of body, what kind of mind, what kind of voice, what kind of, carrying yourself it takes. So gaining clarity around that. And the next one is a very important one, which is going more into energetics. Do you have capacity to receive it? Okay, so if there's anything coming up around things I'm saying, please put them down. And the act of writing these things down as we are going is going to really help you get out of your mind and into saying things honestly for yourself. So if anything is coming up as I'm going through these questions, write it down and let yourself be seen and let your desires be deeply, deeply seen. Okay, so clarity around what is it that you want? Why do you really want it? Is it coming from the heart-centered place, or is it coming from a place of conditioning? Do you actually have the capacity to receive it? And who do you really need to become to create that reality? Okay, if you don't have clarity around these four things, you are going to send mixed signals out there where you're going to feel a certain way, do something else. It's like you're not 100% sure, as I said, that bridge between dreaming and actually creating. And I see so many women do that, right? Sometimes I talk to beautiful women and they're wanting one thing, but they're doing something else, and then they're not willing to let go of all this set of belief system, which is stopping them from being who they need to be to create that reality. And the fourth one is commitment. Because if you want to, plant a new seed and have a new tree and reap new fruits, you better fucking get committed. There's a process from the time you sow a seed to how it sprouts into a seedling, how much water it needs and what environment needs to be kept before you can put it in the bigger pot and then you can put it in the ground. You have to commit. And because I've worked with sacred femininity, I really take, the biggest example is, bearing a child and giving birth to a child. Once you have committed, once the seed is in you and you have committed that you're going to birth that child, you don't look back, do you? Once you've made the decision. Before that, it's 100% your choice. But once you've made the choice that you want something, then it's about nurturing. You think it's easy? It's not fucking easy to give. I have a 6-year-old son. So many of my clients have beautiful children, and it's not easy to go through pregnancy and then to give birth, but we do it, right? And that is literally create a child. So your dreams, things you truly deeply want in your life, are like that, right? So don't back off. Like, don't be like, I really want it. Yes, 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 I'm going to do something about it. And then, oh, no, no, no. So don't do that with your dreams. And that's why you would take quantum leaps in manifestation if you truly commit to what is it that you're desiring. Okay, now this is another one. So nowadays, women, like people in general, but I find women, because we are so receptive to change, we are so receptive to what goes on in the world. Femininity is considered like water. So there is this whole idea around healing and suffering and becoming really comfortable with the heaviness. If you want to really step into creatrix mode and you want to really manifest things and you want to attract and magnetize things in your life you deeply want, the comfort with the heaviness has to go away. Okay, one thing I'm going to tell you, pain is inevitable in life. Everyone has a story. I came from India. I was sexually abused in my late teens. I used to be physically abused by my stepmother. I went through hell of a time. I hated everything about me. I hated my country. When I came to Australia, I went into severe PTSD. I used to see a counselor 3 days a week, and literally my counselor was like, you have to be back in this room. If you don't, I will call the authorities. It was so freaking bad. I still remember that time. I don't remember how it felt like, but I remember that time. I remember that person, and she was going through a lot of pain, a lot of pain. And I reached a point at Brisbane River, if you guys know Brisbane. At Brisbane River, I remember sitting there and just going, am I going to choose to live? Because it was not a lot for me to not live. You know, I could have just gone. And I was like, if I'm going to choose to live, I'm going to live 100%. You know, I'm going to give all of me. I'm going to do this life properly. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm talking about it, you know. And that was the point. I reached the lowest point in my life. And from there onwards, I was like, every fucking thing I'm going to bring in this life is going to be 100% heck yes. And I do not give a single fuck what my old self thinks, what all this conditioning in my mind thinks, what other people think. I'm going to live moment by moment in complete alignment to what I want. And one of the biggest steps I took in that moment was to see the heaviness in my body, you know, and the suffering in my body as a choice. Because pain is inevitable. All my clients have a story. And the story, you know, the point for them to come and work with me is because they have seen some dark shit in their life, you know? And they're ready to see past that shit. And they're like, yup, I want to create something out of it. So when you are in that space, you will have a story, but to see yourself as someone, your deepest understanding of who you are is not in that suffering. It's not. And it might feel a bit triggering when I say that, but that is just what it is. You are beyond that. Your true essence is beyond that. It's fucking infinite. If you really look into it, you will see how many walls society has like created for us where we can't see fucking past them. And we constantly reflect our sense of identity via these walls where we are like, I didn't get this many grades, or I didn't, you know, I need to mother like this, or I can't be an artist and also making 6 figures at the same time. Fuck yes, I can. And I'm going to take a full fucking responsibility for it. I'm not going to take no for a fucking answer. I'm just not going to do it. You know, and I'm going to reach out and I'm going to ask for exactly the support. You know, I'm so shameless when it comes to asking for support in any capacity because I know what I require and I see that as my responsibility. If I'm struggling, if something I want, I need to voice it out because how else anyone is going to know, you know? Um, Thank you so much, Soumya. Thank you so much. So don't become comfortable with the heaviness. Instead, learn how to see it for what it is. Pain is inevitable. Pain and pleasure are actually two sides of the same coin, but it's your choice whether you make it into suffering or not. Okay? And nowadays, it is really cool to, you know, say that I'm suffering. But if you want to really create, you know, if you want to really manifest, universe, this is a very key point. Universe doesn't give you what you think. It gives you how you feel. That's one of the most fundamental law of attraction. It gives you how you feel, not what you think. Thoughts have no weight. Thoughts come, thoughts go. But how you feel in your body every day, universe reflects that feeling. So if you're constantly feeling heavy, if you're constantly in the state of conflict, if you're constantly self-sabotaging, telling yourself how I'm not enough, if you're constantly compromising on your voice and on your truth, you are going to keep on manifesting circumstances and situations where you will have to bring that part of you forth, which is self-doubting, which is constantly compromising, which is constantly self-sabotaging, which is constantly not feeling enough, because that's how you're feeling. That's the codes. You're literally like holding these codes, subconscious codes in your body. You need to release that shit if you want to really create, if you want to really manifest the life of your dreams, the career of your dreams, the relationship of your dream. You say it and you can do it. but you need to understand the energetics, and you need to understand that universe only delivers you what you feel. So learn the art of not suppressing. I'm not talking about bypassing here. You know, you can't bypass PTSD. Um, until unless you probably get to a place where you completely go into shutdown. But if you have gone through something like that, then of course work through it, but don't hold yourself back and become identified with it. One of the things I usually told one of my clients, it was around wound. Like, if you have a wound on your knee or on your body, you tend to the wound, but you don't become one with the wound, right? You're not like, I am now this wound and I'm not going to do anything because I'm this wound and I'm always, it's like, that's not like, what's that going to do? It's going to make you just sit in one place and not really do anything and stagnate and feel stuck. That's what it's going to do. So don't identify with your wounds, okay? Tend to them, look at them, but learn how to come back to your power. And again, that will only happen. You can only come back to your power when that anchor is within you. So if you don't know who you are, if you don't know who you are as an individual, who you are as a person, where do you stand in the society, if you don't own your space and understand yourself, then any wound, any word, any, circumstance, someone said something at a team, partner said something, a child said something like, I don't love you, mom, or whatever, it's like you are going to take that personally and go through this wobble. It's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, right? Thank you so much, Amy. So don't you know don't get caught in that trap. uh don't get caught in that trap. Understand your divinity, understand yourself as an individual deeply, okay? So that doesn't matter what the fuck is going around you, whether that's COVID, whether that's inflation, whether that's separation, yes, you're going to pay attention to that, but you're not going to give these things authority to guide your life. No, no. And once you taste the essence of true empowerment in your body and in your mind and in your voice and in your sight, there's nothing like that. And once a woman becomes empowered, it's like it's a sight to behold. And I mean, that's my vision with all my beautiful clients and all beautiful women who are here. It's like there is something dormant there in your body, in your mind, in your psyche, and really, really step into it. Third core pillar, stop identifying with your mind. Okay? Stop identifying with every single thought which is coming to your mind. Could be coming from your parents, from your peers, from your teammates, from your, from a book, from social media, from media in general. You only have a finite amount of time and energy in a day, goddess. You only have, whatever, 10 to 12 hours. Sorry, I didn't think of how many hours I actually have in a day, but 8 hours out of 24 you are sleeping, right? And then you gotta eat, you gotta go to toilet, you gotta cook, you gotta take care, you gotta commute to work. And if you're working, you're also spending probably, 6 to 7 to 8 hours a day working. You don't have a lot of time to constantly give into the narratives of mind if you truly want to step into creation and manifestation. Okay? If you're playing a lot of roles, you're making money, you're also a mom, you meditate, you take care of, like, I don't have time. I really don't have time for my mind to say, oh, do you remember that person said something about you? And how is that going to make you feel? It's like, I just don't have time for that shit. It's like I'm so engaged and involved with my art, with my business, in service to the woman, in my own well-being, in my meditation, to my child, to creating difference in the world, in my kingdom, and in the world in general. I don't have time to constantly identify with every shitty thought which comes to my mind. And mind is just like any other body part. I always say, like, my clients are like, oh, but it feels really real. Yes, it feels really real. But do you identify with your liver? Do you identify with your heart? No, you see heart for heart. It's doing its thing. Mind does its own thing. Don't become overly identified with your mind. And you need to have pristine, I'm using this word. If you want to manifest and you want to wear different hats and you want to be an empowered queen, you need to have pristine emotional regulation, pristine boundaries, energetic boundary, emotional boundaries, physical boundaries. You need to know where you belong, where you stand, who you are, so you don't let shit just enter your space. No. I literally say no. If someone can come and just throw garbage in my room, no. So the same way, people don't get authority to just come and like throw shit in my mind. And I'm very, very discerning around that. So if you want to really create, if you want to really manifest, if you want to really, really get serious about this, you need to become a version which is very aware, very aware. Okay, you can't be sleeping and passively just letting the life happen to you. Okay, there is time for that, but we are here on a masterclass for manifestation, so I'm not going to talk about that. There is a surrender which happens at certain point. Once you have created and put it all the work, detachment and surrender is a huge part of manifestation. But to start with, you can't let anything and everything just enter your field. Okay, but for you to be able to do that, for you to be able to have clarity, really act in alignment to what you desire, not really identify with, being a victim or a martyr, and really stepping into the empowered version of you, and to not compare yourself to others and not get affected with every single opinion which comes your way, and really stay in your line. You need to know who you are as an individual. So when I work with my clients, first 3 weeks, I just dedicate at understand, like making them understand what is their unique blueprint. What are they here to do? What are you here to do as an individual? You are not, just because we've been institutionalized, put in like 20 kids in a class and everyone just study maths chapter 2, it's like you don't have to carry that throughout your life. And a lot of time when power is not deeply grounded in you as an individual, a lot of time we are actually getting our sense of power by seeing how we are doing better than the others. That's how usually when, in the past, when I had fucking distorted idea of what like really empowerment is, I used to feel that like my idea of power was like, at least I'm doing better than her. At least I'm doing better than that person. It's like, that's not empowerment. That's comparison. And that's you just like, cotton wooling your ego, your sense of ego, to, feel somewhat good for that hour, for that day, for that week, for that month. But if you are aware, then really step into understanding yourself, know about who you are as an individual. And what consists of that? It consists of your body. So I go through the path of Ayurveda, understanding how elements work in you. What are you more prone to? What kind of diet you should eat? What kind of exercise you should do? When I work with someone, I tell them exactly what are the exercises they should not do, and what are the exercises they should do, and they see quantum leaps when it comes to weight loss or getting more fitter or performing, because they're like, oh my god, I found something which actually works for me as an individual. Understanding your mind. What are the things, how does your mind work? What are the things you are prone to? Are you prone to more self-doubt and anxiety, or are you prone to more depression and stagnation? Because they're two separate states of consciousness. right? And based on the elemental difference in your body, you're going to figure out which one is more, which one you're more receptive to. So understanding your individuality, then understanding your vision. You need to have your story. You need to have your story if you want to create life of your dreams. Okay? If you don't have your story, you will become someone else's story. You will, right? So if you want to really write down what is it that you want, what is it that you want to create, you need to have a vision, a 10-year vision, a 5-year vision, a 2-year vision, because your vision dictates your goals dictates your actions dictates how you feel, and how you feel dictates your experience. It dictates what energy you're putting out in the universe. So gaining clarity around what is it that you're putting out is really important. And it backtracks, from understanding of who you are and then coming up with an aligned vision. And also energetics. You need to understand the energetics of how universe works, how you can co-create with divine, because yes, you can just do it by yourself. And people usually ask me, they're like, how do you create at the rate you create? Like, how do you able to do all these things at that speed? It's like, because I don't do it just by myself. I work with divinity. I really do. I work with spirituality. I work with the energy. I understand the elements and I understand how to make them beautifully come together in the right balance for me to birth the vision and the thing I deeply desire. Okay? So really drop into who you are, gain clarity around what you want, become really comfortable with feeling empowered, not with the heaviness, not with the martyr victim mentality, because universe delivers you what you feel, not what you think. So you need to understand how to embody what you want to be, okay? So that universe can really give you that. And that also comes from the place of play. If you're too identified with your sense of identity, then it would be hard for you to play with universe. Instead, you'll be just like, oh my god, but how can I let go? You can let go, because these are all just costumes we are wearing anyway. Stop comparing yourself to others and really commit to your narrative, commit to your dreams, commit to yourself, commit to your growth, and stop identifying constantly with your thoughts. Okay, stop identifying with your thoughts. They're not real, fleeting, they have no weight. They only have weight when you choose to give them weight. And beautiful goddess says, if you want to get there with ease,